Okay, welcome everyone to the last Commissioners meeting in September for 2020. I'll call the Board of Commissioners meeting to order for today, and we are once again joined by our esteemed veteran Don Bradley to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and we are joined by our colleague Allison Blue, Prothonotary, who will lead us in the Invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Dear Lord God, thank you for letting us all wake up this morning and enjoy another day on this beautiful earth. I pray that you would give wisdom to those who are making decisions, our commissioners here, our state and our national leaders, Lord. I pray you would provide safety for those who are serving overseas, comfort to their family, wisdom to those who need to make decisions, Lord. And in this time of upheaval, I pray that people would find rest and peace that you can provide and purpose you provide for their lives. I pray you would give us a great rest of the day here as we do county business. I pray all these things in your son's name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, we'll move on to item number 4 on the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A through D, as listed below.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5.
I'll make a motion to approve a contract agreement between the County of York on behalf of the York County Office of Conflict Counsel and the York County Public Defender's Office and Spartan Technologies Solutions, Inc., Spartansburg, South Carolina, to provide a comprehensive web-based case management system for the Office of Conflict Counsel and the Public Defender's Office to be hosted and maintained by Spartan Technologies for a cost of $277,486 for the period of September 30th, 2020 to September 30th, 2025.
Second.
Motion and a second. I know we're joined today.
Maybe Kathy and Aaron would like to say something about the two offices working together and what this will provide for the county.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Erin Thompson from the Conflict Counsel Office. We are very appreciative that you are considering our case management system. The Public Defenders has had the same case management system for 10 years. Unfortunately, they are shifting gears and becoming much more expensive. My office had no case management system, so we started a search for a new product. They joined the search. We landed on Spartan, and we think it's going to be a good product that will last both of our offices for hopefully a decade to come.
And we wanted the commissioners to know we didn't take this lightly. We went through a number of demos for different products. IT was involved. We did several rounds of that. We really researched this. We believe that this product will give us a good value and will actually allow us to move into the next decade with automated processes, which will make our office more efficient. It'll make it more able to be working from different locations, which is very helpful this time. And that we believe that we've been prudent and careful with our process in presenting this to the commissioners.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for those ladies? No questions. Great. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6.
I'll make a motion to approve a contract agreement between the County of York on behalf of the York County Weatherization Program and Rovinos of Carlisle, Inc. for a qualified contractor to provide weatherization services for the York County Weatherization Program for a term of effective October 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2025, with a 2% pricing increase effective annually July 1st of each consecutive year.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7.
I'll make a motion to approve a contract between the County of York on behalf of 911 Communications Center and Cumulus Media for radio, digital, and virtual career fair, for a virtual career fair at a total cost of $6,622.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
And I know, Christie, you've worked with 911. Is this just for advertising
Yes,
positions?
yes.
Okay, good.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8.
I make a motion to approve agreement for professional services between the County of York on behalf of the Housing Division of the York County Planning Commission and Absolute Real Estate Appraisers to provide professional real estate appraisal services on an as-needed basis for the county's housing programs at an hourly rate of $350 plus 50 cents per mile for each visit, beginning October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021, with a second and third year optional renewal.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9.
I make a motion to approve an agreement for professional service between the County of York on behalf of the Housing Division of the York County Planning Commission and the Abstracting Company of York County to provide title certification services on an as-needed basis for the county's housing programs at a rate of $135 per search, beginning October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021, with a second and third year optional renewal.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10.
I make a motion to approve an agreement for professional services between the County of York on behalf of the Housing Division of the York County Planning Commission and CGA Law Firm to provide legal services on an as-needed basis for the county's housing programs at an hourly rate of $205 per hour. Paralegal services may also be provided at a rate of $125 per hour, beginning October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021, with a second and third year optional renewal.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11.
I make a motion to approve the extension of the time limit provisions for professional services agreement between the County of York on behalf of the York County Planning Commission and Pimani Associates of Philadelphia from August 14, 2020 to August 14, 2022, to continue to provide York County consulting services for the ongoing projects approved by PennDOT under the Master Reimbursement Agreement and authorize the President Commissioner to execute the Pimani Associates of Philadelphia Professional Services Agreement extension.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
And Felicia, I see you're here. Is this normal procedure just for the 2-year extension?
Yes, it is. It's an unusual agreement that we have. It's kind of a
Felicia, could you go to them? Thanks.
Good morning. Yes, we have a kind of an unusual agreement with PennDOT where sometimes the funding comes from the planning pot, and that comes directly to the Planning Commission to do the work that we do. And sometimes the funding comes directly from project engineering, design, and construction pots. And when it comes from that pot of money, it has to go directly to the county. And it's for a unique project that we have to work with the municipalities to evaluate their signals and then see if they can achieve better results through retiming their signals or whether there's other projects that need to be done along a corridor. And this is kind of an innovative thing for York County, and because it was new, we needed a little bit more time to work through the process and get projects done on the ground.
Okay.
Great,
Thank you.
thanks. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12.
I make a motion to approve a contract agreement and HIPAA Business Associate Agreement between the County of York on behalf of the Area Agency on Aging Department and Cynthia Stoner, Hanover, Pennsylvania, and Martha Del Zingaro, Spring Grove, Pennsylvania, to provide one domiciliary care home, a supervised living arrangement, and a home-like setting for consumers who require assistance with their activities of daily living or instrumental activities of daily living. This agreement is for a 12-month period beginning July 1st, 2020, and ending June 30th, 2021. No funds are distributed through this agreement. Provider receives funding directly from Social Security Administration.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13.
I make a motion to approve Herbert, Rowan, and Gerbrick, Inc. proposal to provide engineering services including survey, design, permitting, construction, bidding, right-of-way acquisition and construction oversight services for the 2020 Bridge Replacement Program of 5 bridges in the amount of $1,204 for the 5 bridges included in the 2020 program, and they're listed in the agenda. These projects will be funded with the county's Liquid Fuels, Act 44, Act 89, and/or $5 registration fee funds, and is included within the capital improvement plan budget for bridges of $1,730,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I know, Ron, you're on the planning committee bridge thing. Is this normal?
Yeah.
And this was approved?
It's part of the plan the bridge plan that was put in place, and actually, we had budgeted $1,730,000, and it came in at $1,204,000, so we actually saved some money on the engineering side of it.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14.
I make a motion to approve a cost-sharing agreement between the County of York and Cumberland County, Carlisle, PA, for the complete rehabilitation of Slate Hill Bridge number 258 over the Yellow Breeches Creek. The budgeted project cost of $3,554,605 will be 100% funded with local funds that will be split equally between Cumberland and York counties. The initial invoice to Cumberland County will reflect a credit of $197,392.08 related to York County's 50% share of the Bishop Emergency Access Road project paid for by Cumberland County.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15.
I make a motion to approve a cost-sharing agreement between the County of York and Cumberland County, Carlisle, PA, for the complete replacement of North Grantham Bridge number 247 over the Yellow Breeches Creek. The budgeted project cost of $3,872 will be funded with 80% federal funds, 15% state funds, and 5% local funds. The York County will enter into a reimbursement agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for the reimbursement of the federal and state funds to be applied to each phase of the project. The remaining 5% local share will be split equally between Cumberland and York counties.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Can I just clarify, it's $3,872,000, not
Okay, did I-
$3,872.
Good, thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 16.
Motion to approve a cost-sharing agreement between the County of York and Cumberland County, Carlisle, PA, for a bridge closure and removal study for Sheepford Bridge number 257 over the Yellow Breeches Creek. The estimated cost of $35,000 will be 100% funded with local use fees that will be split equally between Cumberland and York counties.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 17.
Motion to approve the settlements agreements of sale for easements and for temporary construction easements to be acquired by the County of York to complete the work necessary for County Bridge number 177 Baker Road in the amount of $17,880. This project has been funded through the Transportation Improvement Plan with an 80% federal, 15% state, and 5% county. Total cost to the county for acquisition of the easements is $893.98.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 18.
Motion to approve a purchase between the County of York on behalf of the prison and McClure Company Harrisburg to replace leaking tubes in the Burnham boiler for a total cost of $16,687.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
And this was approved at the prison board meeting at the last meeting we had.
Okay. Any further comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 19.
Motion to approve a purchase between the County of York on behalf of the Information and Technology Services Department and Quadient, Milford, Connecticut, for 2 document folder and inserters for a total cost of $50,000.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 20.
Motion to approve a purchase between the County of York on behalf of the Information Technology Services Department and Soteris Information Strategies, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, for Citrix remote access software licensing and maintenance from December 28, 2020 to December 27, 2023 for a total cost of $108,435.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 21.
Motion to approve a purchase between the County of York on behalf of the Information Technology Services and CDWG Chicago, Illinois for the following items: 56 laptops, 272 monitors, 296 laptop docks, and 34 laser printers and other accessories for a total cost of $138,355.90, funded through a PCCD grant.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. And I know Kyle's here from our district attorney's office.
And I know Joe's here too. This is a pretty big order.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Thank you for indulging me, especially since it's not my motion. But I did want to take a moment. This was the second of two grants which came before you a couple of months back. I reported about a month ago that we had received one, and this was the second one. So first and foremost, I would like to give a shout out to Michelle Bachman in our office, as well as April Billett Barclay from Probation Services, who worked together to coordinate and submit this large grant, which again, should we ever slide backward due to the COVID pandemic, this will certainly allow computer equipment for both of our agencies to work better remotely and more effectively and efficiently, and do so at no cost to the county. Lastly, and equally as important, I just wanted to credit Joe and his staff because, again, they do a lot, I think, with a little number of staff day in and day out, with little recognition. And then for an order this size, I mean, it was quite the it's quite the order to try and place and then also implement. And he and his staff came over about 2 weeks ago, met with both of our departments so that we could plan this out, and I think do so in a manner that will work well for hopefully all three departments. So I just wanted to take a moment and give credit where credit was due. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to entertain those, but other than that, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 22.
Motion to approve a purchase between the County of York on behalf of the District Attorney's Office and Samuri, Wyoming, Delaware, for one forensic workstation for a total cost of $16,695.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 23.
Motion to approve a purchase between the County of York on behalf of the 911 Communications Center and Test Force USA, Addison, Texas, for a digital radio test set to diagnose, repair, and optimize the transmission and reception capabilities of the equipment utilized within York County Public Safety radio system infrastructure for a total cost of $38,960.
Second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 24.
Motion to approve the appointments of Mrs. Sharon Easton and Mrs. Rebecca Montgomery as members of the York County Area Agency on Aging's Advisory Council for a 3-year term effective October 2020 through October 2023.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 25.
Motion to approve the reappointment of Patricia Egger to the York County Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council for a 3-year term effective June 2020 through May 2023.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 26.
Motion to adopt Resolution 2020-27 for a future pedestrian bridge within William Kane County Park and to agree to enter into negotiations with Springfield Township for a maximum of $550,000 to improve Hill Road.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 27.
Motion to adopt Resolution 2020-28 and the 2019 York County Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report authorizing its submission to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The report covers the accomplishments of the Home Investment Partnership Act, Community Development Block Grant, and Emergency Solutions Grant programs for fiscal year 2019.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 28.
Motion to approve the check register for the week of September 23rd, 2020, totaling $5,355,089.41.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 29.
Motion to approve the check register for the week of September 30th, 2020, totaling $6,838,450.35.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We did have an executive session on matters related to general personnel issues with the county. On to other business. We do have some guests here today. We have asked that the individuals leading both feasibility studies for the countywide health department and for the broadband, as you remember, Silas and Kevin presented last week. So we'd asked for regular updates at the commissioners' meeting. So since I see Silas first, I'll bring Silas up and then we'll pass it off to Jenny.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
An update on two projects that the County of York is working on with our consultants, Lit Communities, which is based in Alabama and active nationwide, and Catapult Engineering, which is based in Dillsburg. The first is the countywide feasibility study that they've been working on. This study will map current broadband coverage in the county, identify gaps in service, and develop a phased plan to close those gaps, including, importantly, the financial and business models for construction and operation of that future countywide network. The scope of work for the feasibility study also includes grant services. So between now and the end of the year, they'll be working with us to identify state and federal grants for continuing broadband beyond the end of 2020 when our CARES Act funding runs out. The Lit and Catapult teams held a kickoff meeting with County of York staff, with Mark Durr and Scott Castle, YCEA staff, and their teams earlier this week. And they're also coordinating with the team at the Planning Commission on getting some GIS data that will help them run their analysis. So the project's well underway, no risk of this not being completed by the end of the year, and should be a great asset in helping us plan our future strategy for broadband. So while we're working on that countywide plan, we're also taking the first steps on implementing a broadband pilot project using the Heritage Rail Trail alignment and the conduit that was buried by MCI when they did previous work on the underneath the trail. The first milestone in this work was to create bid packages to satisfy our public bidding requirements for construction and equipment purchases. The consultants have completed enough engineering and design now that they've been able to put that package together. They delivered those materials to the county last evening, and we're hoping that they can be posted publicly for review beginning as soon as today. The tentative timeline is as follows, and I have printed copies for the commissioners so you don't have to worry about remembering all these dates, but I just want to show you that it is a timeline that can work and that it's also ambitious at the same time. The RFP will hopefully be published publicly today, September 30th, with questions due by October 7th from potential bidders, responses to those questions from bidders by October 9th, and then the final proposals due by October 14th, with proposal review happening in the days thereafter. That would be a critical point where the commissioners would have an opportunity to review those proposals, decide if those bids are in line with your expectations for the cost that you want to invest in this project, and then decide whether to move forward with awarding those contracts or stopping the project at that point. If we continue to proceed, award notification would happen by October 19th. Materials delivered in the period October 23rd to November 15th, with construction beginning October 26th and construction complete by December 15th. So obviously a very ambitious timeline. They are working on really taking a close look at that conduit so they know exactly what's available and how quickly we can move forward. Broadband construction is, of course, specialized work. We encourage all qualified contractors who can meet the aggressive timeline and have specialization in that work to consider the RFP and to submit competitive bids. And of course, we'll be posting that on the county website, on the public bidding site for the state, and advertising in the newspaper. And we encourage anybody interested in bidding on that work to reach out to us. So again, the next time that we would be sharing information on those bids would be after October 14th, and the commissioners would then, be asked to either take action or not take action on moving forward.
Will there be something in the RFP about the timeline? And I don't know whether it will be weather-related or something, but we need to spend the money by the end of the year. So obviously that's very much a part of the discussion.
So that's a big part of the RFP, and I think that'll be a big determinant in what contractors are willing to do the work and able to do the work, because it all has to be completed by the end of the year. There's still hope that on a federal level, the Congress will take action and extend the CARES Act at least by a couple months or 90 days, but we're moving forward like it has to be done by the end of the year.
And this is the part that I think we allocated up to $5 million if we find
Pilot project.
responsible
Yeah.
bidders. Okay, and I know you said you've identified some local companies that obviously, hopefully, will be interested in this project.
The Catapult and LIT have provided a list of local York County vendors to Mark Durr, so they'll be notified as well to the people that find it on the public bidding site.
Good.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for the update. And we have a commissioners meeting next week, so.
Yes,
Two back to back,
Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome. We also are joined with Jenny Engler. She's the CEO of Family First Health, and she is helping lead the efforts around the feasibility study for a countywide health department in conjunction with Health Management Associates.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to, in wearing my hat as Chair of Steering Committee for Healthy York, come and update you on the feasibility study around a public health response for York County. So we've done a lot of work over the last few weeks. First of all, developing some structure along with our consultants. So we have kind of two layers of localized structure that will be guiding, informing, and setting direction for our consultants in this work. The Healthy York Steering Committee is kind of the first layer of that structure. And we've already had a kickoff meeting. We've received some education. We have decided on a model that we will be using to kind of guide our work of a 21st century public health model that's being deployed around the country. And those key elements will be used to define our work throughout this project. We've also reviewed the timeline and the deliverables and firmed those up with the consultants. Another layer of structure in this project will be something that we're referring to as a blue ribbon panel, which I had to refresh my own memory about what a definition of a blue ribbon panel is, and actually I think it describes our group to a T. So a blue ribbon panel is a commission or a group of exceptional people that are appointed to investigate, study, or analyze a given question. They have independence, but not authority in final decision-making. And we have a group of 13 exceptional folks representing kind of every corner of our community that will be working to really roll up their sleeves and work alongside with the consultants to make sure that we're providing a consistent local lens and feedback into their work. In addition, and that panel kicks off on 10/13. We'll have our first formal meeting at that point. The consultants have been working on a parallel track and starting their research. So part of the proposal was to look at 3 comparator geographies and study both their COVID response as well as their broader public health response. So 3 comparative public health departments were selected, and they're starting their research through interview and even on-site visits with those departments. At the same time, field guides are being developed for further research through key stakeholder or key informant interviews and focus groups. We expect that over 300 people will be engaged through that process in addition to our core groups. This study also has a broader communications plan. It includes certainly providing progress reports to all of you, but then various other communication methods to push out to the community to track our progress through this fast-paced project. I did want to report that we're continuing to monitor the timeline, and we'll be updating you regularly. 11/10, November 10th, will be our first presentation of a draft plan. So that's the timeline that we're backing into, which should align well with completing our project on schedule by the end of the year.
Fantastic.
Any questions?
You've been busy.
Been busy.
Good.
Yes, can you, excuse me, can you tell me, are you at liberty to disclose the 3 departments that you guys are using?
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the proposal, and we'll be looking at York City Bureau of Health. So to make sure we have that very localized lens and a deep understanding of their inner workings, we'll be looking at the Allegheny Department of Health so that we Allegheny has had a long-standing countywide health department, a lot of depth in their work and response both to COVID and on an ongoing basis, and are operating under all of the parameters that exist within Pennsylvania. So a great comparator county. And then we'll also be looking at Hartford County, Maryland, as another a county with a strong historic public health response, with a lot of comparators that line up with both our demographics and our needs. So those are our 3 comparator counties.
And I know you mentioned the Blue Ribbon panel, that you've got 13 individuals. Just want to ensure for the public that that is a cross-section, it's diverse and inclusive and represents all demographics of our community here.
I am extremely grateful at the people who have come forward at this busy point in time, regardless of their sector they represent or their background. We're all have a few things on our plate, but we have a really diverse group that is setting aside the time to, as I said, really roll up their sleeves and work with the consultants to make sure that we get the best outcome and product from this investment.
Further questions? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we are also joined today, we'll bring Felicia back up. Felicia wanted to share a few comments on the I-83 Exit 26 land use project.
Good morning. I did want to mention just something that's happening right now that everybody has a chance to participate in. And Ron, you know this from our conversations at the MPO meetings, but there's been, if you travel the I-83 corridor in the northern part of the county, you know there's a lot of development between Exit 24, which is Church Road, and Exit 28, which is Strinestown. And what you see most visibly from the corridor is a lot of industrial parks and warehousing. But if you go beyond that, there's also a lot of residential development in different pockets along that corridor, and there's a tremendous amount of congestion at those interchanges. And we have a chance right now to evaluate and do something proactively through a transportation study. One of the options to help relieve congestion at Exit 24 and 28 is to build a new interchange at Canal Road, which would be in between those 2 interchanges that are there currently. That proposal to build a new interchange isn't funded yet. It's actually not even approved as a concept yet by the Federal Highway Administration. But because it was supported so strongly in the transportation study, the municipalities that surround that area have all put it in their comprehensive plans. And in anticipation that it could occur, we want to make sure that the land use around there doesn't become so cluttered that the interchange fails within the first year or second year after it's built, if and when it's built. So there's a proactive response to a potential new interchange on Interstate 83. It hasn't happened in my lifetime, I know, that there's been a new interchange proposed on the interstate. And so there's a proactive group that's working to say, if it happens, what is it going to look like? And everybody in the community has a chance to weigh in. There's a website, it's all one word, it's i83exit26.com, so www.i83exit26.com, and it will take you to a survey that you can click on. It takes maybe 10 to 15 minutes to go through the survey, and there's a lot of graphics, so it's not going to be a lot of multiple choice questions and just clicking and scrolling. It's done with a consultant that really incorporated a lot of graphics, so we're encouraging anybody who's interested in weighing in on what that area could look like if an interchange is built to go ahead and do that. So www.i83exit26.com.
Will there also be a link on the homepage for the Planning Commission to get
Yes,
there?
it's also there.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about this, and we've done some renovations at Shrewsbury exit, the curve was taken out of 83 there, near Leaders Heights, and that was a big project. Is there any idea of what a cost of a new interchange would be, and how's that normally paid for?
Right now, the ballpark cost estimate for a new interchange is about somewhere in the $30 million range. And to upgrade the existing interchanges at Church and Strinestown is actually more than that to handle the amount of congestion. So right now, this looks like a more cost-beneficial option on the surface. It may not be once you get into the details of design, but right now, that's what's leading this drive for a land use plan. And those funds are usually paid for out of federal and state funds. However, we have millions of more needs than we have money to pay for it. And so right now, this proposal isn't programmed for funding. If it would be programmed for funding through federal and state funds that we get on an annual basis to do transportation improvements, we're talking 10 years out, 10 to 12 years out. But honestly, that's how long it takes to do a project of that magnitude when you go through all the processes. So it would be federal and state funds, unless there would be an innovative way to fund it where there would be a public-private partnership with the developer or some sort of a special tax raised at the local municipal level to help offset some of that. Everything's being explored.
Okay, and you said the municipalities are looking at land improvements and what's happening in the area, and we were at a meeting just in Mount Wolf with the sewer authority, and I brought up with one of the residents there, and he talked about it, and he said that they're really hopeful this will move forward, but no, there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts in the whole process.
And if you look at any of our interchanges as they've looked today, and you look back over time, you can see how there are development magnets. And when you have a development magnet, then eventually you get so much congestion that the interchange doesn't work. And that's why we're doing projects at Shrewsbury and Mount Rose Avenue. And so we want to try and avoid that or hold that off as long as possible if an exit 26 is built.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have one update again from the Board of Commissioners. We want to continue to keep the public apprised on elections activities. Very pleased to report to you all that 98% of our polling locations have been confirmed. That leaves us with less than 5. And we anticipate that by the next week or two, we'll have 100%. So certainly want to get that out to the public, especially those individuals who want to vote in person. 98% of our polling locations are confirmed and are willing to be open. The other thing we wanted to share with you all is that there's been a lot of discussion around the actual mail-in ballot that comes back to the county and what's counted and what can't be counted. So just to remind the public out there, this is what you will get in the mail when you request a mail-in ballot. It'll have several pieces inside. It will have your ballot. It will have a set of instructions. It'll have an official absentee or mail-in ballot envelope. This is called the security envelope. And then it will also have the envelope to mail your ballot back in. So it is very important that if you're going to vote by mail, that you take your ballot and you put it in the security envelope. It must be in this envelope, or the Board of Elections will not be able to count your ballot. So ensure it gets in the security envelope, and then that gets put in the mailing envelope, which will have prepaid postage on, and that comes back to the county. On the back, there's a box here where there'll be a barcode that is a unique identifier for you as the registered voter that's voting by mail. But we really, the commissioners want to ensure that everyone is clear. Your ballot must come back in this envelope, or we will not be able to count it. We will have instructions on our website to that effect as well. We know the media has been very cooperative with the county and also helping to get that message out, but we want to do everything we can to make sure the public is clear on how we need you to send your ballot back so that it gets counted. Then the other thing the commissioners wanted to share is, as most folks know, there is a box down in our elections office, a ballot box that you can come in and put your ballot in when you've received it and voted. We've also made arrangements for 3 dates: October 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., November 1st from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., and November 3rd from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. That box will be moved from the basement and put out in the front of our building. We are thankful to the mayor and others to allow us to block 1 lane of traffic. So if you would like to come drop your ballot off in person on those days, you'll be able to in an outside environment. We want to also assure the public there will be 2 sheriff's deputies that will be staffing that box, as well as 2 county employees, and there will actually be a tent in case it rains. But we wanted to make sure we also offered some times that were on a weekend for folks to come in. So again, October 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., November 1st from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., and November 3rd from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Okay, did I miss anything on that? Elections?
No, I think it's a good update. Just, I think the public will hear the term naked ballot, and that's what they're referring to when it's not in, as Julie said, the secret envelope. So something to be aware of.
Okay, so on to period of public comment. Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We will move on to salary board.
I'll make a motion to approve the positions, salaries, hours of work, and fringe benefits as provided by existing collective bargaining agreements or as set forth in the York County Employee Handbook or York County Policy Manual for the following departments and row offices with no additional benefits or concessions unless otherwise noted as stated in the internal salary board detail. Department 1, Commissioners. Department 2, Solicitors. Department 4, J.C. Maintenance. Department 17, Information Services. Department 23, Conservation District. Department 24, Human Resources. Department 28, MHIDD. Department 40, Children, Youth, and Families. And their row officers are Department 52, Coroner. Department 54, Clerk of Courts. And Department 59, Criminal Response Unit.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none?
There may be an entry for voters and elections that was missed on the list.
Wasn't on the list.
Look at the internal salary board agenda.
I do believe it has been missed.
I'd like to add that agenda item, if you may.
That was Department 05 voters election. So we will add that
Right.
to the motion. Department 05 voters election. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and be safe and enjoy that beautiful fall weather out there. Have a great day. Good morning, everyone. I will officially call the Elections Board meeting to order for September 30th, 2020. First item up on the agenda.
Good morning, Steve Ulrich, Director of Elections. 3 items to bring before the board. Item number 1, following a period of public comment, the York County Board of Elections needs to consider relocation of the following polling places pursuant to Section 25 of the Pennsylvania Code 2726 for the November 3rd, 2020 general election.
I know we do have some public here today, so I will just pause and see if there's any public comment. Okay, hearing none, if we could have the motion read.
Make a motion to relocate the 9 polling places listed below to new locations.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. For the folks that are watching, I'll read the 9. Dillsburg Borough, Hanover Borough Ward 4, Manchester Township District 2, Manheim Township, Springfield Township, West Manchester Township District 5, Wrightsville Borough Ward 3, York City Ward 11, and York City Ward 14. And for those watching, these will be permanent changes, and they are due to the ongoing process improvements we are making in elections to make sure that the facilities that people vote in are ADA compliant, offer sufficient space, and all of those things. So these will be permanent changes. They are physically located in the same precinct as the soon-to-be previous polling location. So just want to make that clear for the public watching.
And Steve, if we go ahead and approve this motion, can you tell the public how they'll be notified of this?
Public will be notified on the York County, Pennsylvania website. It will be put out in the York County social media pages, Facebook and Twitter. There will also be new identification cards that will be printed this weekend and mailed out on Monday.
And I think the other thing that we're going to additionally do is on Election Day, we will have a sign posted on the previous polling location, just in case they didn't get their new registration card, just in case they didn't see it on social media, just in case they didn't see it on the website. We will have a sign on the door directing them to the new location. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And just to reiterate what the commissioner said at our commissioners meeting a few moments ago, we have 98% of our polling locations confirmed for the general election. So great progress by the entire election staff. So with that, we'll move on to the next item.
Second item, a liquor referendum process was initiated for the Borough of Loganville for the granting of liquor licenses for the sale of liquor in the borough. The process did result in a petition being submitted to the Board of Elections with the proper number of signatures needed and submitted to meet the requirement.
Okay. Any public comment? Hearing none. Any discussion from anyone?
I know that the state approves the ballot, and I know this affects a group of people in the Loganville borough. So have these ballots already been printed, or they will be reprinted or printed newly to show this referendum?
The ballots are in the process of being printed, and nothing has been sent out indicating this until it was met with approval by the commissioners.
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. The next thing up on the agenda is the swearing in of individuals, and that's going to be done by our Deputy Chief Clerk, Christy Bixler, since Mark Durr, our Chief Clerk, is unable to be with us today.
We actually have 2 groups, so we'll do the first group first, and then we'll grab the other individuals from the hallway. All right, if everybody will please stand. You should all have an oath in front of you, and I'll ask you to please read that through with me, stating your name after the I. If you'll please raise your right hand.
I, Julie Will.
Steve Ulrich.
Duly affirm, hereby declare that I will, as clerk to the Board of Elections of York County, perform my duties impartially to include the processing of mail ballots, absentee ballots, provisional ballots, and late military ballots, and that I will not
So for the folks watching, obviously, we have a lot of county employees who are going to help us effectively, seamlessly, and safely manage this election, and each individual does have to be officially sworn in. So we did one batch. We're going to send those individuals out of the room, and we'll have the next group of individuals come in. So just bear with us as we're changing of the guard here, so to speak, practicing social distancing.
Read through this together. Please insert your name after the I and then read along with me. Raise your right hand. I state your name. Being duly affirmed, hereby declare that I will, as clerk to the Board of Elections of York County, perform my duties impartially to include the processing of mail-in ballots, absentee ballots, provisional ballots, and late military ballots, and that I will not read, write, count, or certify any return, vote, or document falsely or fraudulently. You'll sign those and leave them on the table. Great, thank you.
Thank you all. I believe that's all we have on our agenda for today. Just check, anyone have any additional comments? Hearing none, if I could have a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Motion a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are officially adjourned, and thanks everyone for watching. Have a great day.